The next section that we look at is one of the most critical sections within any ESP for a D2C brand, and those are the flow automations. Now, it's a very difficult subject to cover in an audit video just because there's rarely a plug and play solution to this. Filters, triggers, email designs, messaging, split paths, usage of SMS, duration of the flow, timing of it, SMS usage. That all differs between different brands, different types of life cycle stages in the customer's journey, and so on. Okay. But I'll give you a quick little insight into how we tend to break it down. Now, on the sheet that we use, we've broken it down into the different stages of the buyer's life cycle, life cycle with the particular brand. So pre-purchase consideration, you're looking at like welcome flow, back in stock flow, low inventory, price drop, and so forth. This is prior to them buying from you. Purchase recovery is someone that showed intention to buy from you, but they haven't completed the purchase. Abandoned cart, checkout abandonment, browse abandonment, added to cart abandonment, low inventory alert, and so on. You then have post-purchase and retention. So when someone purchases from you, what happens after that? And how do you get them to buy for a second time? And then you have churn risk. So anyone that is lapsing in your database, how do you get them to show interest again in the brand? How do you get them resubscribe? How do you prevent them or intervening when they're looking to potentially unsubscribe from your subscription service? Now, within each of these different stages, you get a set of flows. Now, the first thing that you want to determine for your client, for your team, for your brand is which flows do we need to enable during which stage. Okay, now you would need to map out your entire journey to obviously understand that. The second thing to take note of is some of them have a direct contribution to revenue, like there's a strong correlation in the amount of revenue that you drive from it. In other cases, it's less easy to measure the revenue. It could be more impactful on other channels in the business. For instance, I'm collecting user-generated content from this flow, so it helps us to generate better ads. But it doesn't have a direct correlation with revenue attributed to the ESP, but you can make money in other areas, okay? That's critical for prioritization. So you also want to ensure that you prioritize things correctly. So let me quickly show you one flow, and then I'll leave it up to you to, of course, rate and audit flows within your account or client's account. Also remember here, there's other audits out there stipulating that you need 5 of this, 2 of that, 30 minutes of that. I don't always believe that, because at the end of the day, then it becomes very cookie cutter. If a welcome flow is not longer than 12 emails, you're leaving money on the table. It's a lie. It can work for some brands. For other brands, it's just too long. It's wasted. So you need to, of course, know your numbers inside out. But let me focus on one for a second. Okay, we've got welcome flow. Yeah, I'm going to focus on this one. Yeah, very popular flow. I'm in a Klaviyo account for D2C brand. So, of course, you first want to look at the trigger. Is the trigger correctly set up? When someone enters this flow, are they entering it at the right time, with the right event, right action? So for this particular brand, it has been set to when someone joins the carved email list, that's the master email list. That's after they've submitted the opt-in form. Now this is correct. Okay, so the brand passes that one. You want to look at flow filters. Do they have the correct flow filters set up, or have they incorrectly blocked out people receiving the emails within the welcome flow? We sometimes see people set up incorrect filters. They have removed filters because this welcome flow is targeting both new and existing customers. So they've correctly applied no filters here. So you want to look at that. You then want to look at conditional splits. Are the split paths correct? Are they splitting, people correctly within the flow? For this particular brand, you could flag that new and existing, instead of having a split within the same flow, you might want to create a brand new flow targeting each, okay? Because it's much easier to, of course, measure the performance of the results when you split segments out more granularly. But then you obviously need to be able to manage that. So yeah, it's fine. Okay, the split here is fine. So you could either flag it as it's bad or it's good, depending on your thinking here, your methodology. Then you want to obviously look at each of the emails here. You want to look at subject lines. You want to look at preview text. You want to test out coupon codes. You want to test out hyperlinks. You want to look at motion, animation, design, messaging, call to action buttons. You want to look at the footers at the bottom here, see if everything is working, and so on. You want to look at this on a mobile device to ensure that it's mobile friendly. The list goes on. HTML size and. That once you've had a look at each of these different components within the emails, okay, you can then of course score it. You then also want to move over to your time delays. Is 1 day in between the emails too aggressive? Is it too conservative? Do you want to ramp it up? Do you maybe want to also bring in some plain text emails alongside other emails? Again, there's no catch-all scenario for all D2C brands. Okay, this is where A/B testing comes in. The splits here look fine. The time delays look fine. I can see there. There's 2 days there, 2 days there. So this is a much longer email. And then after a couple of days, they kind of ease up on the time delays. They're not using a lot of SMS here. Okay, I'm only seeing emails here. So of course I can now rank the brand according to my knowledge here. So what I can do here is I can give it a general score. We don't score it on a very detailed level where you've got the welcome flow and then you've got filter and splits and this and split paths. You can, of course, branch it out in that way, but that sometimes drives you crazy because there's so much to check. But what we do is we give it an overall score. I'm going to give this a score of 75. Okay, then in my notes section here, I will then point out some of the things. I will point out here that trigger correct, for instance. You can say split paths correct. SMS usage could be improved or missing, and so forth. Okay, that's how we do it here. We have a look at, because we've got years and years of experience, okay, we know what to look for. Okay, we add our notes in here, add our score, and then we know where the weaknesses are and where they're not. Okay, let me just quickly score a few of these because I want to trigger my overall score thingy. Okay, so now once you've completed the flow section here and you've added in your little notes here, you will of course be able to see that flow automation in general for this particular business is at 44% out of 100. Okay, you can see there 44 out of 100. So there's a lot of effort and work that we can put in here to gain some additional wins. That's the section flow automation.